I'm here with my friend Brad with Likely AI. Brad, thanks for taking some time.
Hey, thank you very much for inviting me and giving me the floor.
A few years ago through Keller Williams, I met Brad and I started using likely.ai for seller analytics in my expansion business. And in the fall of 2020, Brad called me and said, hey, if I could go develop something, if I could create something that realtors could use that nobody has right now, what would it be? But it has to be a game changer. And in that 30-minute call, we took it all the way to the only thing we don't really have right now is we have no way to look at our database. And so what he went and built was the ability to take our database of 200, 500, or 1,000, upload it, beep, boop, 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 and then his system sends it back and says, here's who's most likely to least likely to sell. It goes deeper than that. But Brad, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you an Excel database, almost 600 people straight from command. Let's see, just sent. And so you should have it any second. What Brad's going to do is he's going to drop that into his system and it's going to give us the analytics. But one of the things that we have found using Brad's system is we think we have the right data. His system sends it back and says, listen, this address has changed, the seller name has changed in the tax records.
Okay, so here it is. You can either drag and drop it, find it in your file. I'm just going to drag and drop it. We then automatically look to match the fields using some fuzzy logic. Looks like we got most of them. Looks like add the cell phone down here. There we go. And then let's make sure that we map the fields. Yep. All of this, you won't have to drag and drop once we're in KDEP command, which, it'll happen before I turn 45.
You're telling me how good my database actually is. The big challenge for us, right, is if my sales partner or buyer's agent, listing specialist, or whatever, if they're going to go make calls next week and they have a database of 1,100 people or 1,900 people or whatever the number is, who do we call first?
What you're looking on the screen is the free report that we provide back. Basically, how good is this database and should you purchase this report or not? And so the first thing you look at is how many of the addresses we were able to match. So in this case, 97%, that's really good.
So if I'm looking at this and if I'm Pablo, my first thought is I didn't sell 33 homes out of this database this year.
Yes.
So 33 actual sales in what was the time frame?
Last 9 months.
What you're saying, even in the hottest real estate market known to man, out of 600, 593 people, Pablo had 33 sales.
Exactly. So the 37 are the ones that our models have predicted are likely sellers. So if you want to say 3% is standard, 2%, maybe you double in, you get 5%.
Sure.
It shows you how valuable it is. We show you then in your database, those 37 people, and you can filter them down. So in this case, I've got likely sellers, number of beds and bath, let's call it, maybe you have a buyer that needs at least 3 bedrooms, right? And we set the price range of 1.3 to 4.2. So they've got a decent budget. How many fit that? And you can see that we're down to 23.
So what you're saying is his people that he's put on a database list, there's 23 that he already knows that are likely to sell in the next 3 to 6 months based on analytics. And if he had a buyer, he could just go beep, boop, boop, and he could match it with those 23 people and talk to those 23 and actually say, I have a buyer for your home.
And you hit that button and you hit export and there's your list.
Oh my gosh.
It's as simple as that. So the yellow dots are ones where the last name in the file that was uploaded for the first owner does not match the last name of the first owner in the assessor file.
So if I'm Pablo, this means I need to go clean the database for these yellow dots. If I was going to send a letter to them and I was mailing it to Tom, but Tom's no longer the owner, I want to at least mail it to current owner or the new owner's name.
Yes. If you purchase the database refresh report, we give you the first owner's name so you don't have to send it to current owner and get a lower response.
So that means you know more about my database than I think I know about my database.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Well, I'm using you all over the country, so thank you for everything you've done for me. We've got you live coming up next with Gary for a minute. All right, Brad, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.